everyone. So today's Facebook Live is going to be a little bit shorter. I did just want to touch on a post that I believe that we shared to our page and kind of, reiterate that information and kind of go a little bit more in depth. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Bambi. I'm the trainer here with Paws Up. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about muzzles. Not necessarily type of muzzles and things like that I covered on in my tools and equipment video, but just reasons why people muzzle, and kind of etiquette about that. So I believe we shared a post that was talking about that, so I didn't want to go into that more if you didn't see the post or if you wanted to know more info about that, just because I think it's really good information and it's really helpful to a lot of people and dog owners. So a lot of people, when they see a muzzled dog, their first instinct, their first reaction is, oh, that's a bad dog, that's gonna bite me, it's gonna attack my kid, it's gonna attack my dog, it's gonna attack somebody, that's why he's got a muzzle on, so he doesn't attack somebody. But that's not always the case. A lot of times people will have muzzles on their dogs just as precautions. It doesn't even mean that they've had a bite history, that they've ever attacked anything at all. It's just as a precautionary. Now I do actually muzzle my big dog. I touched on that in the tools and equipment live. I muzzle my big dog. She's a lab mix. Whenever we go on hikes where there's going to be other dogs around, she has never, in my care anyway, she's never bitten anybody, any other dog, anything like that. But it is a precautionary because, sometimes people will let their dogs go up to other strange dogs. They might have a dog running off leash that comes up to a dog, and I know my dog does not necessarily like other dogs. So for her safety, for the other dog's safety, and for my own peace of mind, I do muzzle her. And I've actually had some people come up to me and be like, oh, what's her story? What's on her face, that kind of thing. And luckily, everyone who's come up to me has been very nice about it. But I know some people, see muzzles and think, ew, like, bad dog, awful, don't bring that dog out here. And I just wanted to let you guys know, like, that's really not the case. So there are cases like mine where my dog in my care has not, she's a rescue, so I don't know her full history, but in my care, she has not ever attacked another animal. She's not ever bitten. She's not even tried to bite another dog, especially not people. But I do muzzle her as a precautionary, and there are some people that do have dogs that have had a bite history or have an attack on a person or a dog, but they do want their dog to have the same quality of life as every other dog, so they muzzle them to keep them safe, to keep others safe whenever they go on hiking and stuff like that. And people that do that are very, very responsible dog owners. If you have a dog that is known to get snappy with people or with dogs, strange people and dogs out in public, and you muzzle them, you're a very responsible dog owner, because you do, like I said, want them to have that same quality of life that, friendly to everybody dogs will have. Because, even if you have an aggressive dog or a reactive dog or a very snappy dog, just leaving it at home all the time is not that same quality of life, especially if you like to go out hiking, if you like to go on adventures and you have to leave your dog at home. That's going to be something that, might make you feel bad. The dog's maybe not getting enough exercise or not getting enough out of his life for that either. So you don't want to punish your dog, especially if they've had bad experiences in the past. You want to make sure that you can give them that quality of life as well. And muzzles are just great to have that, to make you feel safer. And then if you feel safer, you're not as anxious, your dog's going to feel safer, your dog's going to be more calm as well. So I didn't want to touch on that, just so that way you guys kind of understood that. Another thing I wanted to say, and the reason that some people, with me with the precautionary, have to muzzle their dogs or really want to muzzle their dogs is because a lot of people, while they might have friendly dogs, they don't really understand, that full aspect of not every dog is going to be as friendly as mine. So I did want to kind of add on to this, if you like to go hiking with your dog, you like to go on, nature walks, that kind of thing, that's awesome. I love to do it with my dogs as well. But there are leash laws in place for a reason, and even in parks where there is, an off-leash area. If it's a big trail, or if there's going to be other dogs on leash walking around, if your dog does not have a good recall or kind of goes off on his own a lot, I would really recommend keeping your dog on leash. You know, if your dog, you know, barrels up to a strange dog on a leash, even if your dog is friendly, if your dog has never attacked anybody or anything like that, you know, your dog could come barreling up to another person's dog, or even a person who doesn't like dogs or children, and scare them. You know, if they scare another dog, or if they make another dog uncomfortable by barreling up like that, that dog might bite, or that might cause a fight. So even if your dog is friendly, just as a good rule of thumb, if you don't have a good recall on your dog, if you can't get control of your dog whenever you're hiking off leash, I would recommend keeping a leash until you can get that trained. And then just, you know, advocate for your dog, of course, but also advocate for other people's dogs. If they're not able to, or if they're having a hard time doing that with your dog, kind of running around, just make sure you be kind and be responsible and respectful to your, you know, fellow people and their fellow dogs as well. Because if your dog runs up and scares another dog and causes a fight, you know, that's not on the other dog. That's not on your dog. That's on you at that point for, you know, having an off-leash dog that's not going to respond to you, that's railing up to their dogs and things like that. And of course, if you see, you know, another dog where they might have a muzzle on, they might have other gear that says do not approach, do not pet, you know, training gear like that, just make sure you be mindful. And this goes for kids and everything too. You know, muzzles are not just for dog aggression, they might be for people aggression as well. You know, just make sure you're teaching your kids not to run up to strange dogs. You know, she's really good with dogs, but just make sure, you know, she's not going to run up to strange dogs that, you know, because they might not be good with kids, or their people might not want them to be interacting with kids right now, maybe they're in training, that kind of thing. So it's the same kind of thing. Don't go up to random dogs, you know, just head on without making sure it's okay first. Don't let your children do that, and don't let your other dogs do that. So that's kind of a good rule of thumb that you can keep as well. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. But that kind of goes into that muzzle thing as well. So I hope, you know, somebody got some good info out of this. If you wanted me to talk a little bit more about muzzles, or, you know, anything like in general that I talked about today, feel free to let me know in the comments, or shoot me an email at bambi@2pawsupinc.com. And I will see you next week.